What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are having a great day today. You watch your own air with Nick Java, the Nick Java podcast. Hey, Caitlin Clark, there's a lot of information. There's just a lot of news articles floating around regarding her right now. She is a new WNBA superstar that is changing the game, changing the league. Let's get into today's video. Check it out together. As The View's Sonny has once again said something so ridiculous, we got to cover it.
The View thinks that basketball star Caitlin Clark has only managed to get sponsorships and money into the WNBA because she's white and attractive. Let's watch.
Jeez.
Caitlin Clark is bringing this money, these sponsorships, we hope, into the league, and other players will benefit from it. But I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white, because she's attractive. And unfortunately, there still is that stigma of against the LGBTQ plus community. 70% of the WNBA is Black. A third of the players are in the LGBTQ plus community. And we have to do something about that stigma in this country. I think that people have a problem with basketball playing women that are lesbian.
Many on the right side of the internet blew up over this clip. Outkick founder Clay Travis tweeted, quote,
I don't know what Clay Travis is about to say, but this is the kind of stuff that really probably doesn't help out our society a whole lot. It feels like sometimes the people that are complaining the most regarding these certain situations when they're basically talking about race and they're always pointing at somebody else like, well, this person's getting this because they're such and such or such and such. It always feels like they're the most racist person in the room. Anytime somebody openly just talks about, they bring it up and they start the conversation. Now, if you want to respond to somebody when they say that, that's fine. Like, we're responding to how ridiculous her takes are. It just feels like to me a lot of times the person that starts it is normally about the worst person in the room. What do you guys think?
This is a particularly ridiculous take from Sunny Hostin, who primarily has her own job because of her race and her attractiveness. Caitlin Clark would still be in the WNBA if she had the same skill set, no matter what her race or attractiveness was. Can Hostin say the same?
And popular X user Harrison Crank tweeted, quote, liberals, why won't anybody watch the WNBA? Caitlin Clark emerges, people start watching. Liberals, Caitlin Clark has white privilege and pretty privilege. Barstool Sports, Kevin Clancy said, quote, the WNBA finally broke through and is gaining popularity because of Caitlin Clark.
Facts.
And the first thing media personalities are doing is trying to diminish that because Caitlin Clark is white and straight.
Facts.
So unbelievably stupid, you can't even wrap your head brain around it. So I don't know if I think The View's talking heads are representative of a monolith of people, all of liberals. Right. I do think it's a bad take to say that Caitlin Clark only has notoriety because she's pretty and white. She's from the Midwest. Iowa has a huge program. She's been breaking records throughout her entire collegiate career and playing very well. I mean, she's gotten the attention of Steph Curry and all of these NBA players that are huge. They watch and study her style of play. And I think it would be to discredit everything she's contributed to the game. That's bad for feminism, to look at her and say, we're going to judge her based on her appearance and her background instead of what she's contributed to the field. That's what women are used to. That's not a very feminist take, to not look at her record and why she's looked at as this famous player that not only the best on the guys' side of the game are looking at, but also young boys are coming and asking for her autograph. So I think when we assess what's happened to the WNBA, we look at Caitlin Clark's greatness, how people have loved watching her play, not just because she's a good player when you look at the numbers, but also, she's a pretty athlete in how she takes her shots, not in her face. Michael Jordan is a great athlete, but when you compare Michael Jordan's effortless game on the court to LeBron James, Michael Jordan just looks prettier and more effortless playing. That's a factor. The watchability of the player in the game is a factor, but also,
that's a very good take from her, in the idea that Caitlin Clark does look very effortless whenever she's taking her shots, whenever she's passing, whenever she's calling a play. A great example would be right then where she was talking about Michael Jordan. He just looks effortless when he was playing, and it looks beautiful to watch a player play seamlessly amazing like that. LeBron James looks great when he plays as well, but it's not as smooth. It's not as, it's just not as streamlined. It's like when you saw Mike play, when you saw Michael Jordan play, it looked like he wasn't even trying. And that was the amazing part of it. It looks like art, as opposed to the people that you're comparing him to. Caitlin Clark has that X factor. And it's amazing that she's bringing that many eyes to the WNBA.
Angel Reese, and huge personalities.
Angel Reese is amazing as well.
Out of these past few years of NCAA women's basketball. So I think to say it's all Caitlin Clark or it's all being white and being pretty, it's really to just not understand what's going on in the sport right now. And I just don't think it's representative of how most people feel.
Yeah, it's serving to undermine her greatness, as you said. And I think it's a really nasty thing for The View to talk about her in this way. Unfortunately, there's been some former ESPN commentators like Jamel Hill who similarly have said things that suggesting that Caitlin Clark is only popular because of her race.
Jamel Hill is a very unhappy woman. Jamel Hill is a very unhappy woman. I'm not going to say a whole lot because you guys know who she is.
And it obviously does not bear out with the reality of, some of the statistics she's put up are insane. In addition to the record-breaking seasons that she's had in the NCAA, in the Final Four game this year, she had 41 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds, which is just monstrously huge. And in her first 5 games in the WNBA, people have been accusing her of struggling because she had a lot of turnovers and because her team was 0-3. But here are her stats. She scored 89 points, 29 assists, and 23 rebounds. There are only 2 other players in WNBA history that have put up numbers above 85 points, 25 assists, and 20 rebounds in their first 5 career games.
Wow.
So she's still obviously outperforming most of her competitors
true.
On the court. And people like to see someone who is just head and shoulders above everybody else that they're playing with, or at least most of the other people that they're playing with. And I think you're right that her style of play is very exciting. She's sort of known for these behind the back passes, these really quick dishes to her teammates, which might explain some of the turnovers. Maybe they're not used to playing with that style of player yet. They're still getting used to some of the choices that she makes in her passing style. And then she cranks out these threes from like near half court. There was a
Steph
video
Curry
that went
effect.
viral just last week of her receiving a pass.
Yeah, that's definitely the Steph Curry effect. Steph Curry changed the game when it comes to basketball, influenced everyone from Trae Young coming up in the NBA. He's in the NBA now, to all the college kids try to play like Steph Curry, because probably most people are more the size of Steph Curry than they are something like a LeBron James. I saw LeBron James one time in real life. He's just a humongous individual. So, I could see where Steph Curry's game would translate better to people that are normal size human beings as opposed to oversized phenoms such as Shaq and Hakeem Olajuwon and Giannis Antetokounmpo and some of those greats like Jokic. Luka's a pretty big guy too. Luka Doncic is pretty big by regular people's standards, from the Dallas Mavericks. I see what they're saying. What are you guys thinking about this? What are you guys thinking about this? We'll let the tape roll for a little bit longer.
And immediately getting off a 3-pointer from the logo on the court and just draining it. Like, obviously, people want to watch someone who plays basketball that way, who's willing to take risks and also have those risks repeatedly pay off.
Yeah, I agree. Both of their takes on this, I agree with this, and the idea of people want to see exciting players. People want to see people that go in there and actually bring energy to the game. They bring excitement. It's sports. We don't always need politics. We don't always need, well, if this person ain't this and they ain't that, they ain't that. It's sports. We're supposed to come together on sports. We're supposed to be able to sit beside somebody that you might not have anything in common with in real life or in the other parts of your life, but you like this person because you're rooting for the same team. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Hope you guys have a blessed day. You watch On Air with Nick Driver, the Nick Driver Podcast. A pleasure as always to be with you guys. Guys, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Ski ski.